Hello, bonjour, ça va? And how are we tonight? It is July the 3rd, isn't it? Friday, 2026, here in downtown Sarnia. Wow, just came through quite a big storm, lots of hail and noise and flashes of lightning. But you know what? I didn't even pay attention because I was watching the movie Citizen Vigilante. It's true what they say. It's a very violent, graphically violent movie. Like, wow. I don't like watching that stuff. But the last two videos that I have channeled for you, July 1st and July 2nd, brought us back to the topic of the divine feminine. We kind of went over a little bit about what's going on in Europe, Britain, all over the place. You can go back and listen to especially the second video about that. Again, it's not often we tune into the 3D stuff that's going on, but this has a deeper value to it, is how I'm hearing it, and a deeper message. And it's bringing us in sync with our higher light, SYNC. So therefore, we have to, take a look at it and discuss it and familiarize ourselves with it to the tune of the lower light, so we understand the process of coming back to our higher light. Because we've always, as we've said for years, we've got to go through it, got to go down and deep and dirty before you can come back up. You have to understand the momentums here and understand the energy fields and how they're running and how they're working and how they're resting and digesting your lower light. It's not a pretty sight. So I discussed about the masculine and the feminine here on your world and on your planet. So the only reason I watched this movie was because of the channeling that I did yesterday or last night. Because I heard, and I have to go back, I don't even really remember it. I've got to go back and listen to it all over again. But I do remember that when we were talking about the clashing of the two ideologies that are so opposite and antagonistic towards each other, that, and it's been instigated with the immigration that was done for a reason. I went through all of that yesterday. I really don't want to spend the time to go over that again. So if you could take a listen to that, it'll explain in more detail. But the next stages of this is, of course, when the women and children are being attacked, and the rape gangs and the murders and brutality for ideologies, right? Because you have different ideologies. The next step, the next stage in the growth cycle to work through all of this, to come out on the other side, to create the new world, our beautiful new high light 5D world. The next stage is the vigilanteism, if that's a word. That's how I'm hearing it. We kind of knew this from the beginning, that this is the procedure that would occur here. So as these things are erupting on your world and on your planet, take a deeper look, a different level, different multidimensional viewing of it, from the mountain viewpoint instead of the valley viewpoint, and see that this is to bring humanity actually back together as one. It's just been so much division and separation caused on your world and on your planet. Again, it was done on purpose to keep you separate, to keep you weak, to keep you under control. And this is being broken apart. This is why this is happening. So the next stage, as I mentioned last night, I had seen a video from Italy where there was a politician. I don't remember the people's names. This guy was wanting to talk about getting the men to group together like in vigilante style, which is why the title of this movie today caught my attention. I thought, okay, I gotta research this a bit more, like I did with the Matrix and everything else. And so the men are, he's mobilizing the men to come together to protect the women who are not safe on the streets, protect their children. Wow, it's pretty bad. Again, this weekend, it's, Mars and Uranus in the astrological context here. It's pretty explosive and brutal. So this movie builds on that. Actually, I watched the credits to find out it was actually made in 2025. And it was in Croatia, it was in Zagreb. Yeah. And at the end of the movie, there were two lines, and it was that this movie was dedicated to all the women who'd been raped and murdered in Europe for the last number of years. I don't know. I don't know when it first started. I wasn't even following all of this at the time. But now, whenever Spirit guides me or directs me, as you know, to go and follow something in 3D, there's a very good reason for it. And it's understanding it from the higher dimensional realms of time to show where we're at in the ascension process. So now we're overcoming all of these lower circumstances that we've been in for years. This guy who is, I don't even remember the guy's name. I remember the actor's name, but I don't remember the man's name in the movie. He's a very wealthy man, of course. He's ex-military, of course, and he creates this scheme of how to wreak vengeance on all of the people who have hurt the women and the children too, as well. It's hard to take. It was hard to sit through. It's only an hour and a half, but it still is really difficult to sit through. Yeah, still reeling a little bit with my emotions as I come on here tonight. But we did hear last night in the video that there would be war breaking out between these two ideologies, and that certain aspects of the lower self would be coming out for all to see. So we're gonna see it all now. And the next step, we started with the Epstein stuff, and then this that's going on right now in Europe and elsewhere. It's Australia too. And then the next step, as we discussed yesterday, would be the exposés on the rampant kidnapping of women and children for the sex trade that's run by, various groups on your world and on your planet, as well as off for money, right? Devaluing the human spirit and light for a coin is how I think we heard it last night being expressed. And so now the masculines are going to be, coming together to enraged is what I'm hearing. I was just a little leery about saying that. The males are going to be enraged about what's going on against their system, their belief system, their systems of light, their women, their offspring, and this is going to pull them together, to band together, to be the protectors as they have always been through time. So we did hear last night about there, as I said, the word war came up, which I was surprised at hearing when I channeled that. But this is a symptom of the lower light. So we're going to be expressing this more and more until everybody on your world and planet can see and understand from a 3D reality and a third eye reality on up. So they understand the process. When you're in a very dark, dense space, like we have been for a long time, and the human race has been, part of that, that there are some growing pains, is what I'm hearing it as, which is kind of hard to hear as 3D me, because it seems like it's a lot more than that, a lot worse than that. And then the subsequent pole vaulting is how I'm hearing it and seeing it into your future divine line of time. Because these old ways are not divine. None of the old brainwashed ideologies, systems of lower light can compete with the higher light. That's a joke. I mean, seriously. So all of these low ways of being are crumbling down, and all of them are going to be expounded. So they're expounded. They're going to be shown. You're going to see everything. All the dirty, dark little bits in the corners that we couldn't see before. Billions of us couldn't see. Okay? They kept it from us. They kept it hidden. They kept us down and controlled and dominated and in fear for our lives and our well-being and our welfare. So we see this is what's crumbling down as you're witnessing this around your world. This is what is crumbling down. It's the old vestiges of your old society. And it's the worthless parts. The violence, the anger, the hatred, the control, the domination, the fear. Those are the old parts. We don't want that. We don't want that carried into the higher light. Well, it's an impossibility. Anyway, it's too low of a frequency. So these movies are about to come out more and more and more for all of us to see. Because I was thinking when I was 3D me, was thinking watching this, how did you get the movie out like for right now? And I don't know, I guess it's been out on X or something for a while, but for me, this is new. I'm not always, the first to see this in 3D, but eventually I get caught up with it. So all these machinations of the lower spirit are being brought out to see. We said this years ago. We started saying this more repetitively since about 2022, I think we started to say this, that all this engineered society would be broken apart and left broken for all to see. So as you climb in your ascendancy, you see that this matter isn't going to matter anymore because it's going to be dissolved. It's going to be disintegrated. And there won't be anything left of it. It'll just be truth. You'll just see the truth of it all. So the vigilante in the movie, he's saying all this stuff we've been saying for years, telling everybody about the corruption and the control and the domination and the whole bit. I was like, heard that before. How many times have we talked about it over the years? Wow. So it's actually coming out now. Surprise to me. I really didn't know if I would live to see this. because I am getting up there in years. So this is a surprise to me. I'm glad I stuck around long enough to see this, and there's going to be a lot more is what I'm hearing. Keep hearing about the finances, the financial systems that have been so burdensome for so long. Those chains are going to be taken away. I just noticed that the banking system that I've been using, some other bank I'd never heard of just took it over. So yeah, stuff is going on in the background. I think it's already a done deal. We will see it eventually, sooner rather than later is what I'm hearing. So all of these kerfuffles that we've been going through are going to come to the light. We will all eventually see everything. We've heard this for years as well. The truth reigns. I've always known in this lifetime, the truth comes out eventually. It can be a year, a day, a month, split second, or a billion years, but the truth always comes out in the end. And that's what's happening, my friend. We're getting near the end. So all the truth is being exposed, all the lie, everything, every last little bit. You're going to know who's done what to whom. You're going to know where the money's gone. You're going to know where the political systems reign, R-E-I-G-N. You're going to know all the slippery slopes they went through to drag you here and under their thumb. It's already begun. Yeah. So there's the promise of a new one. O-N-E. Okay, because we are all one. It's just, again, we've been divided by ideologies, by war, by crimes against the human spirit, and much, much more, as we have discussed over the years. How many times have we talked about religion? That's the biggest brainwashing. How many times have we said that here? You're being duped, you're being tricked to go to war to fight these other beings' battles. You're just a pawn on a big old chessboard. And you've been believing the lie. So let the lie go by. All right? And focus on the why. Yeah. This is the angel's advice. Focus on why. Why was it done to the human race? Why? That's my favorite question, right? I've always said my favorite question is why? 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 Get to the root of it. And then you'll know. And then you can't be brainwashed anymore. Then the lie can't control you anymore. This is time to step up to your higher light, people. It's time. Come out of the lie and let it go by. Well, I don't hear hail anymore against the window there, and it almost looks a bit light out there, doesn't it? Oh, it was really violent while I was sitting there watching that violent movie. Yeah. Well, I guess that's about it. Love you always. Take care of yourselves and others. If you do wish to book an appointment with us, you can go to the website www.healingourenergy.ca, and we'll speak with you another day. All right. Bye for now.